They say every woman hides a secret, a wound the world can't see. But mine wears a suit, speaks in a calm voice, and destroyed everything I once believed in. My name is Ha-eun, and this is the story of the man I'm hiding from the world. At Hera Communications, one of Seoul's biggest PR firms, Ha-eun worked quietly, tirelessly, unseen. She was the kind of intern who came early, stayed late, and smiled even when her world felt heavy. But no matter how hard she worked, she was invisible. Ha-eun, your accent is too provincial. Clients won't take you seriously. Try to look more polished next time. You represent the company, not your small-town roots, said Director Jimin. The other interns laughed behind her back. Ha-eun forced a smile. But that night, she cried alone on the rooftop. Ha-eun whispered, "One day, they'll see me." The next morning, the company buzzed with excitement. A new business partner was joining Hera Communications, King Do-yoon, the young, secretive CEO of a rival firm. When he walked in, the air changed. The room fell silent. Even Director Jimin straightened her collar. But when his eyes met Ha-eun's, something flickered. Shock, pain, recognition. Ha-eun said in a trembling inner voice, "No, it can't be him. Not here. Not after everything." He greeted everyone, except her. He avoided her gaze the entire meeting. But after the meeting, he followed her into the elevator. "You shouldn't be here," Do-yoon said. "Neither should you," Ha-eun replied. Silence. He taught her how to believe in herself again. He made her laugh, made her believe love could exist between worlds. Until one night, he vanished. No calls, no letters, no goodbye. Then came the humiliation. His family, the King Group, one of Korea's most powerful conglomerates, found out about her. They released a video of her crying, begging him to tell the truth, and the internet devoured her. She was bullied, mocked, labeled a gold digger, and Do-yoon never defended her. She dropped out, changed her name, moved to Seoul, and promised herself never to love again. Now, 3 years later, she was back on her feet. Her designs, her ideas, finally noticed. Ha-eun was chosen to present to the board, her one chance to shine. But as her slides appeared, something was wrong. Her work replaced by old photos of her crying in college, of the scandal. The room erupted in whispers and laughter. Director Jimin scolded Ha-eun. "You really thought you belonged here?" he said. Humiliated, Ha-eun ran to the restroom. Do-yoon followed. "Ha-eun, hurt? Why did you come back into my life? To finish what your family started?" Do-yoon in a lower voice said, "I didn't leak that video, Ha-eun." Ha-eun replied, "You didn't stop them either." Tears slid down her face. He reached for her hand. She stepped back. That night, the office was quiet. Ha-eun packed her things in silence. She was ready to leave again. But then, she heard his voice. Do-yoon on his phone. "Yes, I found her. But she doesn't remember what really happened that night." Her heart stopped. What didn't she remember? She dropped a folder. He turned. Their eyes met. Do-yoon said, "You shouldn't have heard that." Ha-eun replied, "What did you do, Do-yoon?" He stepped closer, whispering, "The truth might destroy both of us." The next morning, Ha-eun wakes up to hundreds of notifications. Her name is trending again. Hashtag scholarship scandal. The same video, the same hate. Someone is trying to ruin her all over again. But this time, she doesn't cry. She stands before the mirror, wipes her tears, and whispers to her reflection, "No more hiding. If the world wants to know who I am, I'll show them." Outside her window, Do-yoon watches from his car, expression unreadable. He whispers to himself, "I was trying to protect you, Ha-eun, but maybe the truth should come out." He was the man I once loved, the man I feared, and now the man I'm hiding from the world. But soon, the world will know why. They tried to break me once. They called me a liar, a fraud, a girl who didn't deserve love. But this time, I'm not running. Because the truth they hid from me is darker than any secret I could ever keep. Everyone thinks they know my story, but no one knows what happened after the scandal. After the man I loved walked away, after I lost everything. The morning after the scandal, the office was chaos. Phones ringing, whispers spreading like fire. Someone had leaked another email, this time accusing me of forging my university scholarship documents. "Did you see the news?" one of the interns whispered. "She faked her scholarship." My hands trembled as I scrolled through the screen. My name was everywhere again. Ha-eun, the liar. Ha-eun, the fake. Director Jimin stepped out of her glass office, smirking. "You should have stayed quiet, Ha-eun. People like you never last long in places like this." Her words cut deep, but deeper still was the laughter that followed. I left the building without a word. Outside, the rain had started to fall. I pulled my coat tighter and walked faster, until a familiar voice stopped me. "Come with me," he said. "I can explain everything." I turned. Do-yoon. The man I once loved. The man who vanished without a word. The man who destroyed me. I laughed bitterly. "Explain? You already did, 3 years ago, when you disappeared." I turned to walk away, but his next words froze me in place. "Your scholarship," he said quietly. "It wasn't fake. It was paid for. By my mother." I spun around. "What did you just say?" but he said nothing more. Just guilt in his eyes. That night, I couldn't sleep. His words echoed in my mind. Paid for by her mother? Why would she? And then it hit me. The humiliation, the leaks, the silence. It was all connected. 3 years ago, before the scandal, Do-yoon's mother had found out about us. Madame Kang. Cold, powerful, untouchable. She didn't confront me directly, no. She was smarter than that. She made me believe she was helping me. She paid for my education. Made me feel like I'd earned my place. Until one day, she called her son into her office and said, "If you truly love that girl, leave her, or I'll destroy her reputation completely." And he did. He left without a word, thinking his silence would save me. But his silence was the weapon that destroyed me. I remember that day so clearly. The world laughed while I hid. They called me a fraud. He watched in silence. I thought he didn't care. But now I see he cared too much. In the wrong way. Days passed, but the storm inside me wouldn't calm. So I went back to the one place that ever felt safe. Our old university library. Everything was the same. The smell of books, the rain tapping on the windows. And there, between old pages of a philosophy book we used to read together, I found a note. His handwriting. If I disappear, it's not because I stopped loving you. It's because I love you too much to let them hurt you. My knees gave out. I wanted to hate him. I wanted to scream. But all I did was cry. "You should have trusted me," I whispered, "not protected me with lies." The next night, I made a decision. I would stop being the girl who hides. If they wanted to bury me again, I'd bury the truth they'd hid instead. That weekend, King Group hosted its annual gala, where Madame King would be crowned Businesswoman of the Year. Perfect. When I arrived, the lights flashed. Every journalist in Seoul was there, and Madame King was smiling at the cameras, radiant in her diamonds, until she saw me. I walked straight to the stage, heels clicking on the marble floor. "You tried to hide me once, Madame King, but tonight, I'm the one showing the world who you really are." Gasps filled the room. I pulled out my phone and pressed play. Her voice echoed through the speakers. "If you want to protect her, you'll leave her, or I'll destroy her reputation completely." The room went silent. Cameras flashed like lightning. Madame King froze. "You don't know what you've done," she hissed. I met her gaze and said, "No, Madame King, I finally know what you did." Then I walked away. Do-hyun arrived moments later. He looked between his mother and me, torn, broken, ashamed. For the first time, he didn't stay silent. "Mother," he said softly but firmly, "this ends tonight." That night changed everything. The media turned on her. The truth spread faster than her power could contain. Within a week, she stepped down from the company board. The world finally knew the truth, and for the first time in years, I could breathe. Heda Communications begged me to return, but I didn't need them anymore. I started something new, my own PR agency, True Voice Media, because no one deserves to be silenced by the powerful ever again. Weeks later, he came to see me. Do-hyun stood at the doorway of my new office, quieter than I remembered. "I don't deserve forgiveness," he said. I looked at him for a long time. "You don't need to ask," I replied softly. "I forgave you the day I stopped hating myself." He smiled sadly. "Does that mean we can start again?" I shook my head. "No. It means I'm free." There was a long silence, the kind that says everything words can't. Sometimes love isn't meant to return. Sometimes it's meant to teach. He turned to leave, and I let him. Because some goodbyes are not the end. They're the beginning of who we're meant to be. As I stood by the window, watching the city lights flicker like stars, I whispered to myself, sometimes the people we hide from the world are the ones who once made our world beautiful. But real strength isn't in forgetting them. It's in living beyond their shadows. My name is Ha-eun, and I'm no longer hiding. If this story touched your heart, comment, Ha-eun deserves peace. Don't forget to like, turn on the notification button, and subscribe for more emotional K-drama stories.